For many years, I have been telling you strange, mysterious, and unsettling stories that took place on planet Earth. Stories about unexplained natural phenomena, daring thefts, brutal murders, cyber hacking operations, dramatic prison escapes, and the secret worlds of internationally famous criminal organizations such as the Italian Mafia, the Japanese Yakuza, and the powerful Colombian and Mexican cartels. One thing united all these stories: almost all of them happened within Western societies. Even the criminals themselves were foreigners, names far removed from our region. But today's story is different. Completely different. Today, I will tell you the story of a human being whose ambition knew no limits. A man who began his life below zero, without education, without money, without influence, and without a future. Yet in only 7 years, he accumulated more than $200 million. At first glance, this might sound like a normal success story: business, trade, profit. But what makes it extraordinary, shocking, and deeply disturbing is this. He did not dominate the forbidden market through violence, assassinations, or brute force. He did not rely on political power or official authority. Instead, he conquered the black market through charity, donations, religious appearances, and social goodwill. And eventually, his name became known across Egypt and the Arab world as the Sheikh of Sheikhs of Egypt. Chapter 2: A Message Before the Story. For those who are watching me for the first time, my name is Abu Al-Sadiq. I specialize in telling stories about everything strange, hidden, and mysterious on planet Earth. As usual, before we begin, I must ask you not to believe everything you hear or see around you. They said the war ended. They said there was a truce. But we saw no truce. That is why we remain firm, continuing, and boycotting. Do not let this video, no matter how interesting, make you forget that victory only comes through patience. Today's story is about the largest dealer of forbidden substances in the Middle East. A man who rose not through fear, not through money, but through charitable acts. His nickname became Father of Orphans, Protector of the Poor, and finally, Sheikh of Sheikhs of Egypt. On paper, his criminal record was clean. Not a single proven charge. But the truth eventually emerged in a completely unexpected way. Chapter 3: Birth of an Ambition, 2004. In the year 2004, in a small Egyptian village named Nabru, located in the Dakalia Governorate, a young man was struggling to survive. His name was Saad Zinem Saad Hassan Abu El-Gait. He was only 20 years old. Saad entered adult life with absolutely nothing. No university degree. No professional skills. No capital. No connections. Worse still, he came from an extremely poor family. His financial condition was not just bad, it was below zero. In his village, people mocked him and called him Al-Habid, a term used to describe someone who talks nonsense and dreams beyond logic. Yet this young man carried within him an uncontrollable ambition. He openly spoke about owning villas, luxury cars, lands, businesses, and endless wealth. He constantly told people that one day he would become rich and famous. He claimed that he would work in import and export, a profession he believed was the most profitable path to wealth, especially since he had studied commerce in secondary school. At the age of 20, Saad already believed that Egyptians possessed something unique, something that, if discovered and exported correctly, could make anyone a millionaire. Chapter 4: Learning the Game, 2005 to 2006. In 2005, Saad found work in a small import-export office. The company specialized in shipping goods from China, India, and Turkey. If a client wanted clothes, fabrics, plastics, or electronics, the office would arrange everything. Employees abroad would source the goods wholesale, ship them to Egypt, and collect a commission. Saad started from the very bottom. His first tasks involved counting money, carrying cash between workers, transporting goods from ports to warehouses, and later assisting in customs clearance. He absorbed every detail. He asked questions. He observed silently. Eventually, he reached the most dangerous and revealing place in the import-export world, the port. Chapter 5: The Port, Where Secrets Are Born. At the port, Saad discovered the heart of Egypt's trade and crime. Here, documents were exposed. Officials knew every trader. Smugglers moved freely. Illegal goods entered through forged papers. Saad learned how documents were falsified, how bribes worked, and how prohibited goods passed undetected. For an entire year, he watched everything. Who entered? Who exited? Who smuggled? Then he made his first major decision. I will import goods under my own name. The document continues in extreme detail, covering all remaining events. Port auctions and early profits. Greed and entry into smuggling. Fireworks trade. Sexual stimulants and counterfeit drugs. Tramadol empire. Jordan exile and factory networks. Supply chain manipulation. Egyptian revolution exploitation. Legal manipulation and acquittal. Rise as sheik of sheiks. Arms trafficking and tribal arming. Final raid, arrest, imprisonment, death. Moral conclusion. Chapter 6: The Port Auctions and the First Real Profits. After deciding to operate under his own name, Saad Abu el-Gait entered the world of port auctions. In Egyptian ports, certain traders employed observers whose only job was to monitor incoming shipments. The moment a valuable container arrived, whether fabrics, clothing, electronics, or household goods, it would be purchased immediately and resold for a quick profit. Saad gathered money from friends and acquaintances. He convinced them that import and export was a guaranteed path to wealth. The system was simple: goods would be ordered from China or India, take around 25 days to arrive, and be sold immediately upon reaching the port. The profit margins were small per shipment but consistent. Container after container, deal after deal, the money grew. He started with fabrics and clothing from India, then moved into plastics and electronics from China. His confidence increased, and so did his ambition. But with success came greed, the kind that whispers dangerous ideas into the ears of men who believe they are smarter than everyone else. Chapter 7: The First Step into Smuggling. Saad began to ask himself a dangerous question: why stay within the law when smuggling brought faster money? At first, he smuggled small quantities, nothing too risky. Things went smoothly. Encouraged by success, he was introduced to one of the biggest smugglers operating at the port. This man told him plainly, "Why are you wasting your time with small trades? There is a market that will make you a baron in days." That market was fireworks imported from China, illegal, highly demanded, and extremely profitable. Saad did not hesitate. He was willing to gamble, but not with his own money. He gambled with other people's funds, believing that loss was their problem, not his. Fireworks were banned, and as always, what is forbidden becomes desired. His profits exploded. Chapter 8: From Fireworks to Poison. Fireworks were only the beginning. Saad crossed a moral line that would define the rest of his life. He entered the trade of counterfeit sexual stimulants and expired medications. These products flooded the market, sold directly to other smugglers without even leaving the port. Money moved faster than ever. Every few days, a container arrived and was already sold before docking. Most of the drugs were fake or expired. An injection that sold in the market for thousands of pounds cost Saad almost nothing. Between 2005 and 2008, Saad knocked on every forbidden door: fireworks, fake medicine, sexual stimulants, even carcinogenic Chinese cigarettes that were later banned by authorities. Every scandal led back to one name: Saad Abu el-Gait. Chapter 9: Millions that did not belong to him. By this stage, Saad controlled millions of dollars, but almost none of it was his. From the beginning, he had used other people's money. Investors began asking questions. Where were the profits? Where was their money? Saad stalled. He promised patience. His plan was simple and cruel: collect $200 million, return $100 million to investors, and keep the other $100 million for himself. But people do not wait forever. By 2008, lawsuits, threats, and tribal mediation sessions surrounded him. Chapter 10: Disappearance and Escape to Jordan. One night, Saad vanished. He fled Egypt and resurfaced in Jordan. There, he reinvented himself as a respectable businessman. He rented homes, established shipping relationships, and slowly began paying back some investors to clean his record. But while appearing to repent, Saad asked himself a new question, one that would change everything. Why smuggle small items when I can deal in real gold? That gold was tramadol. Chapter 11: The Tramadol Empire. In 2009, tramadol was not fully classified as an illegal narcotic. Saad saw opportunity. Instead of distributing, he decided to manufacture. He imported raw materials from Germany and other countries and established secret production lines across Sudan, Libya, the UAE, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Turkey, and Malta. Egypt was the primary market. Saad believed that whoever controlled Cairo controlled the entire country. Tramadol spread like wildfire. Workers labored longer hours, unaware that they were slowly destroying their bodies. Addiction followed quietly. Cheap prices ensured mass dependency. Chapter 12: Control through Fear and Supply. Saad temporarily withdrew tramadol from the market to identify competitors. Anyone who attempted to manufacture or distribute was eliminated. When the product returned, prices had increased 100-fold. To Saad, human suffering was irrelevant. He saw only numbers. Profit. Expansion. Chapter 13: Law Enforcement Closes In. Colonel Abdul Wahab al-Rai of the Egyptian Anti-Narcotics Unit noticed a disturbing pattern, a single source. Investigations led to warehouses containing 500 million pills. Workers were arrested. Saad, once again, was abroad. Yet he paid his men's prison expenses and supported their families. In the criminal world, this bought loyalty. Chapter 14: The 2011 Revolution, Chaos as Opportunity. When the Egyptian Revolution erupted in January 2011, the state collapsed into chaos. Saad seized the moment. Through mysterious alliances, all charges against him were dropped within 3 months. Another man was blamed. Saad was declared innocent. He settled lawsuits by paying half the claimed amounts. People accepted something was better than nothing. Chapter 15: The Birth of the Sheikh of Sheiks. Saad returned to his village not as a fugitive, but as a saint. He rebuilt mosques, funded weddings, paid debts, and donated publicly. Singers praised him. Crowds kissed his hands. He was now Sheikh Saad Abu el-Gait. Chapter 16: Entry into the Arms Trade. Believing himself untouchable, Saad entered arms trafficking. He armed tribes, built militias, and distributed millions of weapons. His village became an armed fortress. Chapter 17: Final Raid and Arrest, 2013. In 2013, intelligence revealed an arms shipment including anti-aircraft weapons. Saad was surrounded by police and military forces near the Oasis Road. After clashes, he was arrested with hundreds of weapons and massive cash reserves. Chapter 18: Prison, Sentence, and Death. Saad was sentenced gradually, 7 years, then 15, finally 22 years. In 2020, after 7 years in prison, he died. Officially, his empire ended. Unofficially, his networks continue to operate. Chapter 19: Conclusion and Moral Lesson. Saad Abu el-Gait remains one of the most dangerous figures in modern Egyptian history. His story is not merely about crime, drugs, or weapons, it is about how power is built when society is weak, when religion is exploited, and when money replaces morality. He understood people deeply. He knew that poverty creates obedience, that fear creates silence, and that charity, when displayed publicly, creates loyalty. By combining all three, he built an empire that lasted for years and survived revolutions, investigations, and international borders. His life proves that evil does not always appear violent or cruel. Sometimes it smiles, donates, prays loudly, and claims righteousness. Sometimes it builds mosques while destroying lives silently. Yet history is patient. Empires built on poison always collapse. The suffering he caused outlived him. Addiction, broken families, lost generations, these are the real monuments of his legacy. What remains after death is not wealth, not followers, and not fear. What remains is truth. And truth, no matter how delayed, always rises. Appendix A: Social Impact of the Tramadol Epidemic. The spread of tramadol in Egypt had devastating consequences. Entire labor sectors became dependent. Young men believed the drug gave them strength and endurance, while in reality it destroyed their nervous systems, mental health, and family lives. Hospitals reported rising cases of seizures, heart failure, and psychological collapse. Families collapsed silently, ashamed to speak. Employers unknowingly encouraged addiction by demanding longer working hours. This epidemic did not appear overnight. It was engineered, marketed, and protected by corruption. Appendix B: How religion was used as a shield. Public piety became a weapon. Saad used religious language to justify wealth and silence critics. Any accusation against him was framed as an attack on charity, mosques, or faith itself. This strategy confused the public. Many believed opposing him was sinful. This psychological shield was stronger than weapons. Appendix C: Lessons for future generations. This story must be read slowly. It must be understood deeply. It teaches that wealth without ethics is destruction. Charity without honesty is manipulation. Power without accountability is tyranny. If society learns nothing from figures like Saad Abu al-Ghait, then history will repeat itself with new names, new drugs, and new victims. Final reflection. This narrative was written not to glorify crime, but to expose it. Not to celebrate power, but to warn against it. It is a mirror held to society, asking a simple question: how many lives are we willing to sacrifice before we say enough?